Hello, welcome to my channel. On today's video, I will be working with a specimen that I've had laying around for quite some time. This one. Let me actually grab it right here. Now, I've been intending to do that one for a second, and I've actually shown that same piece in previous videos. I now have the right place or home for that specimen. However, it is a scorpion, and if you've seen my previous videos, I do have a couple of scorpions that are my pets, and those ones are not this. And to prove that, here is Kunchiki. She's very alive. As you can see her kind of move there. And then, ooh, I don't know why it just shook so much. I kind of shook because I had to pull out Exodia from his cage, and Exodia sometimes scares me. She's wonderful. I love her. She doesn't try to sting me or anything like that. Exodia, on the other hand, is not very friendly, and for whatever reason, he always tries to sting first. So he's kind of scary to handle. And he is very alive in here. Let me make sure he doesn't try to run out, because this isn't very tall. As long as he keeps his focus on my finger, I'm sure he'll be okay. So he's in there. I don't know how well you can see. And he's also very alive, but he's very, very aggressive. As you can see, Kunjiki is just all happy-go-lucky. No problem there. But Exodia, let me actually get you a little closer, and I'll kind of show you what he looks like when he's not not covered. So here's Exodia, and he is very ready to go. He will try to sting me, and so I'm actually going to cover him up so he doesn't get out. So give me just one sec. Okay, I actually decided that I felt more comfortable just putting him away. He was actually trying to claw his way out of here. He doesn't like to get out of his terrarium. He's really good in there. Like, he's got a really big terrarium, actually. It's a 20-gallon tank, and so he's fine. Kunjiki's the one that's always trying to get out of her terrarium, which is strange. She's fine on my hand, but he's not okay in, like, little area, like, strange places. However, regardless of, it's a little unnerving having him so close and trying to like get out, so it was just best that I took them away. Now, so in this video we will be getting this specimen ready, and I will kind of show as the steps that I will take to have this be its home.
All right, so what I've set up right here is I have this paper towel is just kind of damp, and then under here is a setup of glue sticks. The glue sticks are set up in a square shape, and so they're made to elevate this paper towel and keep it from being stuck to the bottom of the container. What we're going to be doing now is I need to hydrate that scorpion so I can position it in a way that it's so it looks more realistic than, you know, in the current position that it's in now. When you're dealing with specimens like this, I definitely suggest you still handle them carefully. You don't want to touch the end of that tail. It's still going to be needle sharp, and who knows what infections you might be able to get there. That's a problem. This container is not big enough, so I'm going to have to switch to a bigger container. You know those containers that you just don't have lids for, and you just kind of had them laying around because you felt like one day you were going to need them? Well, that's what this is. So I've had to use saran wrap, and then real quickly I will just put something on top just to make sure it stays sealed. But outside of that, it's going to be in here for about 6 days. Okay, for this, I am going to utilize this frame that I've had laying around for a while. And then I'm going to quickly outline the coffin on this piece of paper because I will be cutting this frame up. All right, so using this, I found some angles, and I am at a point where I can just set my, hopefully, I should be able to set my saw just to these measurements. And I should be able to get these cuts, basically, that you're kind of seeing here. I had to double check my measurements because evidently I don't know how to use one of these. And then I've also made some markings as to where I will be cutting on this so that I can kind of have an idea and make sure that I don't catch any of the metal pieces that are hidden on the back side of, like on here and like on this corner, so on and so forth. Super excited, like, oh man, these cuts came out so good. And then I was like, I'm missing two pieces. And I now realize that the cuts that I made and everything like that, I didn't have enough material to go all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the store real fast and see if I can find like this exact pattern. If not, I will have to buy a new piece and start all over again. All right, so I went and had to get this piece, and I've already cut it up and everything like that. I have it lined up here on top of tin foil because I am going to be gluing it, and I just want to make sure that my cuts and everything were fine. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use the other piece because I can't match it. So maybe I'll cut it up into a smaller coffin for a different project. I'm unsure, but for now, I have what I need here. So I'm going to just quickly glue this. I've placed the piece of glass on top, and this actually has the perfect thickness here. So I will be tracing, I have it on the edge here because this is going to be since it's already cut here, I don't want to cut this part, but I will be cutting this one and then all around there, down here at the bottom. So I've got this line that I will be following, and so that's what I will be tracing on this piece of glass. And that way, when it goes underneath, it has enough space to kind of move around a little bit, and I'm not making it to the exact edge of the bottom part where the glass will be held. All right, so I need to score this so that I can use these to cut the glass. So let me do that real fast. Okay, just gotta do that all the way around. Okay, so I'm sure you can't see it under here, but there's the glass. So, but before I do that, I want to paint this. So I'm going to quickly I'm going to try spray paint on it and see if it'll hold instead of actually like using a paintbrush. So I'll primer it first and see if that kind of helps so that it doesn't suck up the paint. I don't know if you recall my little makeshift paint booth, but here we are. I kind of put this together on the last video. So some filler primer. Okay, while it's still a little sticky, I'm gonna use some flat black. Now it doesn't come onto my finger, but it is sticky, so it's perfect, I think, so that I can spray this on it. All right, it's all dry now, and I don't know how well you can see anyways, because this black is really hard to see, but I have it upside down, and I will be applying this silicone, and this is what's going to hold the glass in here. All right, the glass can go in there now, and so, whoops, make sure we don't get any junk on it. So hopefully it sits it just flush in there. Okay, so we'll just let that dry, and it will probably take a while. So it's the next day and this has dried. I kind of just put it on top of the box to kind of get a measurement, well, to get a feel for how it's going to look. I'm a little unsure as to what route to take. I bought some hinges to kind of put along the edge, but I'm almost wanting to give it a little something more. And so I've kind of debated on putting screws and just holding the whole face in with screws. So it's not really like you can't open it just like on demand type thing. However, this area is kind of thin, and so I'm questioning whether I'd be able to drive a drill evenly down and not have it break this. Right, I had to go to the store and I got some screws. So I got these ones, and then I got these ones. Someone opened the bag and it's got some missing. I didn't pay attention. And then I got some of these. These little ones are just for the brackets because I'm going to hang it on the wall. I'm not gonna have it just sit. So I need to get figuring out how to screw this on. I've marked where the holes are gonna go, so now is just kind of a time to start drilling them out. Ooh, I'm a little worried about that one. Start here. All right, so now it's going to be the tricky part, getting this even and straight here so that I can make the holes, or at least mark these holes as to where this should sit. I was able to get these two to line up, and those are actually holding the piece together right now. So I'll be able to now just drill these other ones without this moving around, and I know it will be dead on. And here's where the holes are at. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what they look like on the inside. So I did a pretty good job. They all stayed very close and within the area, and didn't protrude out here, inside here, or anything like that. They went down pretty straight. All right, so I got the hanger on right there, and let's move on to see how the scorpion's doing. I've pulled it out and it's doing really well. It moves fairly easy, like you can tell there. It's not as stiff. And then if you've seen this before, these are what I use to position the insect. So I'm going to start off with probably this box and position its body. And then afterwards I will move maybe into positioning some other parts of its limbs on like this one or something like that. So let's get started. All right, so I've done the gist of the positioning. So at this time, it's now time to start maneuvering its legs. I'm a little concerned that the tail might be too high for the top of the cover of the coffin, but I think I'm close, and so I'm going to just kind of chance it. So now it's just a matter of getting its legs positioned how it would normally stand. It's all positioned how I want it to be, so at this point I will let it dry for quite some time, several hours, and then after that it should be good to mount it. Okay, so I meant to just leave it for a few hours and instead I left it all night. So it's now the next day, and it has a little bit of flexitivity, but I think it's pretty dry. It definitely should be. It's sat here for well over 10 hours, I would say. So let me take all the pins off. All right, so I'll be gluing it down in this position, and I'm just using glue, this type of glue, nothing crazy. I have cut 2 pieces of glue stick, and those are its like supporting the bottom part of it. However, yeah, so it's just a matter of gluing those down, and then, ooh, I gotta be careful with it, and then positioning it where the pinchers are pointing down to goodbye. Okay, so it's now assembly time. Let me just make sure I line this up.